Urban Intelligence is a strategic project of the National Research Council of Italy. It proposes the development of a modular, fully integrated evolving digital twin of a city and of its various systems and subsystems like the public and private transport, the energy and water distribution and usage, the social system, or the educational system and the relative distribution of school buildings, the health system of a city and the well-being of its population, the cultural heritage of a city, meaning the tangible asset as architecture and monuments, and the intangible one, like celebration, festivals, and so on. All these systems can be simulated in principle by today's data-driven model, established on data collected via sensors, distributed throughout the city, and combined via Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. By continuing to collect data from sensors, the twin learns and develops following the operational life of the real city. Fundamental is the human contribution inserted into the process of data collection by engaging citizens and city stakeholders in the participation processes, allowing to obtain a more flexible, human-oriented digital twin, incorporating also city users' needs. What is the purpose of developing a digital twin of a city? Well, I believe that we may have important results in three sectors of intervention. At the strategic level of urban and territorial planning, in which action related to large infrastructure like transport or communication networks can be identified and controlled. At an operational level, with actions related to the management of services that have to be taken immediately and day by day, like the planning of local transport and urban mobility. Finally, at an emergency level, for risk management and planning of alert intervention, a tool for playing intelligent what-if scenarios. A final goal of the digital twin is to assist the communities, promoting with new digital technologies sustainable cities with less or zero impact on the environment.
Dear all, I'm Chiara Appendino, Mayor of Turin and Vice President of the National Association of Italian Municipalities. I am very pleased to contribute to the Pre-Expo event today with the story from our city, my city, Turin, which is currently recognized as a smart city at international level thanks to its City Lab unique approach. In 2018, we have launched the Torino City Lab project, an initiative to position our city as a lab for urban experimentation thanks to an open innovation and public-private participatory approach. Basically, we wanted innovators from all over the world to join our platform and develop innovation projects with us, with the city. In the last 24 months, we have achieved almost 100 partners, launched more than 50 experimentations and 5 innovation challenges. The most relevant innovation verticals we have focused are smart mobility, artificial intelligence, and sustainability. Owing to Turin's industrial background, mobility represents for sure a key innovation driver as far as goods and people smart transportation is concerned. We have approached the transition from an automotive manufacturing city to a smart mobility city, considering road, air, and space mobility challenges. For example, Turin has been the first city in Italy to pre-authorize a 35-kilometer urban circuit for testing connected and autonomous vehicles, called Turin Smart Road. In terms of urban air mobility, our city has become a European point of reference for experimentation about outdoor and indoor drones, with particular focus towards security, environment, and smart logistic use cases. With this regard, we have announced the beginning of test flights with drones carrying more than 25 kilos goods just last week. Turin is also planning to build an aerospace district for a new space mobility master plan, with the aim of combining corporates in aerospace with startups and research. Our innovation strategy has embraced artificial intelligence as a crucial paradigm shift for our future. Our 2 universities, along with the most important research organizations in our territory, have invested significantly towards the growth of artificial intelligence in terms of research outcomes, startup foundations, computational power, and infrastructure. Artificial intelligence can be exploited further also with regards to sustainable and circular economy, thanks to specific academic and industry programs already part of our city's agenda. Although 2020 has been a critical time in history for all of us, thanks to our innovation strategy, we have achieved great results to shape our future with an eye towards sustainability, inclusions, and skill developments. Let me give you some example. Turin has been selected as the headquarter of the Italian Institute for Artificial Intelligence. Turin has awarded as top city in Italy for the national funding program City Home of Emerging Technologies. Another project is Turin Reshoring, a relocation program for high-tech companies to become part of our R&D community and ecosystem. Thanks to the adoption of an open innovation strategy made of public and private collaboration with our smart communities, we also aim to support the key role of cities for the sustainable future of our world. This is the vision that we are trying to share with the Italian cities, thanks to the work with the National Association of the Italian Municipalities. We really hope this can be a good practice to share during Expo debate.
As the Expo motto, connecting mind and creating future, connection are the base of the future development of urban environment. Connecting people, connecting devices, connecting cities is the new challenge for the environment development. How do we see this challenge in Leonardo? Are we ready to start a journey together? Let's start from the physical connection. Urban mobility is the new challenge. Higher urban mobility is the possibility to move people inside city environment with electrical system for manned transportation of people with possibility to vertical takeoff. At the Expo, Leonardo will present his product AW609, the first system able to take off as an helicopter and to fly as an airplane, to assure movement of people in an efficient and effective way. In the same way, we look at the urban air logistic, the possibility to move material inside the cities by using drones for transportation of material. We have successfully tested transfer and delivery of hospital and biomedical material with the use of drones at a distance of more than 30 kilometers. We have also tested recently the use of electric drones to transport a payload of up to 20 kilograms with electrical drones with a weight of 100 kilos that are remotely controlled over the line of sight of the operator. Experimenting the unmanned delivery of goods is also important and useful for us to test use cases services, including geo-awareness and strategic deconfliction services provided by the joint venture D-Flight. The services provided and released by D-Flight will allow us in the future to have an environment in which traditional aviation system and thousands of drones will cooperate in a common space and safe space. The city of the future will need a management capability, a common situational awareness platform to collect and control traffic management and its optimization, monitoring and safety of the critical areas of a city, squares, public areas, stadia, as well as protection of critical infrastructures, airport, stations, main transportations of the city. All these domains and vertical are connected in a digital way and based on a cybersecure backbone to assure proper control of data and its relevant security. All the activities and interaction within the city are managed and based on secure communication platform in order to guarantee reliable communication capabilities in all time and in all situations, also during crisis management actions. Within Leonardo, we have developed a city management solution, a suite called X2030, that is a comprehensive infrastructure to control and orchestrate all these domain and technological verticals. The enormous amount of information generated by this system requires the capability to collect, store and analyze data, Computing capacity is a fundamental brick of this architecture, and we have last year launched the supercomputing Da Vinci First in Genoa to support this challenge. Thanks to the synergies of IT technology, secure communication, physical and cybersecurity, we can deliver a comprehensive platform for the urban management, territory control, and critical national asset protection.
In the digital society, the development of sustainable communities requires rethinking cities according to new paradigms based on the ability to connect, share, and validate heterogeneous data flows that derive from different sources, like for instance IoT, IRP, social media, and business databases. These data flows need to be protected and managed in an appropriate and safe way. For this reason, cybersecurity is not only the definition of protection strategy to counteract that, for mitigating risk and allow the regular life of a country. It is an enabling prerequisite for the creation of stable and competitive assets in many of development, social, economic and sustainable sectors of each country. Therefore, in the coming years, Italian and global research must commit themselves to developing digital solutions and services easy to use and mainly safe. Citizens shall trust these digital solutions and services. We need, in fact, digital solutions with a high ability to automatically adapt to the specific need of each person, able to respond autonomously and efficiently, and to guarantee digital security even in the event of future social, health, economic, and environmental crises and emergencies.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to share with you a couple of minutes dealing with the evolution of motorized mobility and its relationships with motionless communication. My name is Bruno Dalla Chiara, and I'm full professor and mobility manager at the Politecnico di Torino. Well, first of all, I would like to show you the evolution of passengers per kilometer by road in a number of European countries. What you can see that from 1970s until the beginning of this century, there has been a continuous increase in mobility. But at a certain moment, this increase has stopped and it has become nearly constant, the mobility nearly constant. A similar example can be taken from toll motorways in Italy, where you can see that until 2006, more or less, there has been a continuous increase and then constant trend, more or less. What about railways? Well, in railways, there are different kind of traffics, local mobility, high-speed trains. But what we can see again is that around 2010, there has been a strong increase of traffic related to high-speed trains. And this has taken place, for example, in France, where from 1981 until nowadays, the traffic in the most used high-speed line in Europe, traffic has been multiplied by 7. And the same has taken place on high-speed lines, rail lines, in Italy, where from 2009 until a couple of years ago, the number of trains has multiplied by 7. And what about local transport? Automated metros, for example, the one operating in Turin since 2006, have passed from 7 million passengers up to 20 million passengers. What does this mean? That transport system in 2008 and 41 in 2015. Well, this means that transport systems operating on fixed guideways have increased a lot the mobility. What about social platform? Well, you can see here the evolution of traffic on different kind of social platforms. And what about internet users like this? Well, the trend is very effective. And during the COVID period, the main operators in Italy have seen an increase of some tenths in terms of volumes, both on the fixed and mobile networks. So what can we conclude? That fixed and mobile communications are converging towards mobility, and they have to collaborate together. So we can provide transport systems that allow ourselves to work and to be connected while moving. And this is something very relevant for the next years. So all this shows that a strong evolution of the transport industry and its adaptation to the present times. Visitors of the Italian pavilion at Expo 2020 in Dubai may verify the possibilities and capabilities of, beside the skills of Italian companies that can rely on a consolidated background. Thank you very much.
Good morning, my name is Michela Milano. I'm professor at the University of Bologna, where I lead the Interdepartmental Institute of Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence. Today, I would like to show you how artificial intelligence can be applied to sustainability. In the last 10 years, we have achieved incredible results in artificial intelligence, in particular for what concerns machine learning. And this has impacted a lot of applications, like, for example, artificial visions, where we have achieved superhuman performances, or in natural language processing, like, for example, in question answering application, where we use a huge amount of data for answering questions. But also in creative environments, like in art, where artificial intelligence is able to create original paintings that are somehow, amazing, I think. But today I would like to talk a little bit about a very important field where artificial intelligence can bring an enormous impact. And so in sustainable development, we have three pillars: the environment, the society, and the economy. And in this setting, helping people to take decisions is very complex, because these decisions and these systems, also called socio-technical systems, in general consider aspects like environment, human behavior, natural phenomena, economic systems, artificial infrastructure, but also social dynamics. Some examples of problems are, for example, smart cities or smart grid, the management of energy, the management of water, of natural resources. And in all these cases, taking decision is extremely complex. So artificial intelligence here plays a role to create models. Mainly, we have three kinds of models: descriptive models that describe the system and the different components, their interactions; predictive models that try to forecast the future dynamic of the system; and prescriptive models that instead support decision makers in their decisions by, for example, providing different alternative decision scenarios, providing their impact and indicators of the consequences of these decisions. So this means that we need really to have an unprecedented integration of AI techniques that, for example, span from machine learning, but also optimization, planning, agent-based simulation. But in this way, we can tackle these problems that have a unique scale and a unique complexity. But in this way, artificial intelligence can be really used for the social good. Thank you very much.
My name is Ernesto Damiani. I am the Senior Director of the Robotics and Intelligent System Institute here at Khalifa University. And I want to present something we are going to show at the Expo Cyber Week. Here in the UAE, we are very serious about deploying artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, it learns from examples. And based on the examples it has seen, it generalizes to tackle situations it has never seen before and tries to make decisions. But of course you need to make it robust, because attackers, bad people, could try to interfere, both at the training stage, when the artificial intelligence is looking at the examples, and later on in production, when the artificial intelligence is deployed and is taking decisions on our behalf. But also we must minimize the consequence of someone introducing in the training data examples that have been doctored to make the system take the wrong decisions. This is called reducing the adversarial space, and this is exactly what we are trying to do here at Khalifa. We have a general system for reducing the adversarial space, making it harder for bad people to fool machine learning systems. So this is why we are focusing at the moment on certain verticals, like autonomous cars, which need to drive around in the traffic, or vans that have to deliver goods. And for those, we need to make sure that every decision they make, be it about parking, be it about turning, be it about braking, cannot be changed by attacks or by the changing conditions in which the system operates with respect to the ones where it was trained.
Since July 2015, the RUS, the Universities Network for Sustainable Development, has been the first experience of a coordination between all Italian universities committed to the topics of environmental sustainability and social responsibility. Currently, 78 Italian universities are members of the network. The main purpose of the network is the dissemination of good practices of sustainability, both inside and outside universities. The RUS is made up of several working groups, one of which is related to the issue of sustainable mobility. According to the latest survey on university commuting, the academic mobility has at least three positive aspects. A good modal split with low shares of private cars and high public transport, a good level of intermodality and combined use of means of transport, the presence of favorable places for innovation. Elements of weakness are instead the low level of active mobility, the long travel time and distance of journeys in order to get to universities, the high cost of travel, particularly for who live more than 40 kilometers from the university, and the high use of private cars for who live in areas where public transport is poor. In order to manage these problems, universities are required to promote sustainable mobility policies aimed at strengthening the role of universities in the governance of urban mobility, increasing the use of public transport by defining new and more effective policies, fostering active mobility with policies and infrastructures, and adopting organizational solutions, also in terms of timetables, in order to relieve congestion and to avoid peak cars. Places for research and innovations, universities must make their contribution to achieving the three revolutions of the sustainability transition: electric vehicles, autonomous vehicle, and sharing, in order to achieve the goal of connecting people and minds and creating a better future even in the field of mobility.
Welcome to MUNER, is a university big as a region, an association from the 10 most important companies in our region: Dallara, Ferrari, Maserati, Pagani, Lamborghini, Ducati, Marelli, HP Coxa, Alfa Tauri and Haas Formula One team. is so important for us to be the main character of such incredible revolution that is in mobility and automotive. Now we are in the labs of Muner, where students have the possibility to stay together, to work together, to discuss and find innovation for the next generation vehicles. Here we have a driverless car based on a typical architecture starting from a combustion engine. But we know that now we have to study new solutions for the new mobility, electrification, ICT, electronics, sustainability are some of the most important keywords in the next future revolution. It's so important to put people in the middle of the process. We know that people are the pivot of any revolution, and today we are here to give them the possibility to stay in the workshop, to use mechanical tools, to use electronic tools, to test, to train, to create new skills and new competencies. Here you can see how they work and how they stay together for their future as young engineers. Talents coming from many countries all around the world to come here, to come to the Motor Valley to improve their capability to work together and to give us new solutions, to give companies new possibilities to drive the next future revolution in mobility and automotive. So we wait for you here in the Motor Valley, we wait for you here at Muner, and if you are an engineer, if you are a young talent, please join us to create your future for the four wheels, cars and vehicles. See you in Dubai.